Hi, this is Vibe from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to try a new technique. I've seen this new machine called Minc, and it's by Heidi Swapp, and I love that machine. I think it's a brilliant idea, and the concept is you have these little embellishment tags that you can purchase from her, or you can make your own as long as you have a laser printer or a toner, any type of toner machine. So a copier machine that uses toner or a laser printer, you can use that to create your image, and then you use the foil. You run it through the machine, which is it's a laminated machine, and then it comes out with a nice foil. Now let me show you some of the ones that I've done because I've been playing with it. Originally I had this machine. This is the one from Provo Craft, and it's the bookbinding one. So I had this machine. And I'll show you some of the images and some of my mistakes. So one of the first things that I started out using just the image, and I did not put my copy machine very dark. So I didn't put it real dark. I just had it a regular setting, and then I turned on the machine and started running it through it, and it wasn't hot enough. So you have to wait for this to heat up before you run it, and it didn't cover the whole image. Now this one was a little better because this was the second one that I did, and the machine was hotter, and this was the first one because the machine was not hot enough. I did use the carrier sheet for these, so I bought a Heidi Swapp carrier sheet, and I did use that to create these. Then what I did is I made another sheet. So I've been using my stamp image, so I decided to take some stamps and create a page. And let me go here and show you what I have. And I want to go over a little bit on the best ink that will work. So these are 2 pages. One of the ones, I took my stamp and started stamping things out. One of them I used Stays On. So this is my Stays On. And even though I refreshed the ink pad, I put fresh ink on my pad, I let it soak, and then I stamped the image, it didn't come out that well. Okay? Then this is the one with Ranger's Archival ink. I did the same thing. I put ink on a re-inker on my pad, I let it soak in, and then I did my image. This one came out a lot better. Now, I always was having an issue with these large stamps, so what I did is, and you can see here, a little issue with that large stamp, I took my Sharpie and I went over it. So you take a nice dark Sharpie and just go carefully over your design and just darken it up. Okay, so once I did that, I went ahead and put my toner very dark to the darkest setting I can get on my copy machine, and this is what came out. Okay, it isn't perfect, and this was with this machine, with the Provo Craft machine. It's the bookbinding one. It's not perfect. You can see some dark black image. It looks, I'm going to use it because looks on an embellishment on a card or whatever, it looks kind of grungy, so that's fine with me. But it's not a nice, covered with the foil. So I went out because I saw some more videos about what laminate machine will work, and I found a video on a lady that she was using the Scotch machine, and this one is at Walmart. I got this for 20 bucks. If you want to buy the Minc Machine, right now at Joann's, you can get it for 25% off, but still it comes around $112. So it's still a little high for a machine that only laminates. So I didn't want to buy that machine. Well, I'm trying not to buy it. If it goes a little, if I find it for 50 or 40 bucks, I will get it. But for over 100 bucks on a machine that just laminates, I'm going to see how I can do it without having to buy that machine. So I went ahead and stamped another sheet. So these are my stamp image. And I have a bunch of stamps that I use. So I got my favorite ones, as you can see here. And I used the Ranger Archival ink. I didn't even mess around with the Stays On, because that obviously does not work. So I went ahead and created a page. Now I can always save this page for future, because I can, if I want to do another image or another set of image, I can always recopy this page. I'm going to put this away. I also bought some Minc tags, and I have some here. And we're going to try how it's going to work on these. Okay? So, I'm also going to try, so I got 2 and 2. These are the ones I made. And then let me pick some ones, some of these. Maybe that one. And that one. Okay. What I want to do is try it with which one is it better to buy the carrier sheet from Heidi Swapp, or should I just use paper? So that's also what I want to figure out. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the carrier, and I'm going to put my foil. I'm going to take the other one here. And I'm going to place some foil on here. Now, the lady that uses the Scotch, I'll put the link to her video, but what she did is she put it 4 times. So she will rotate it 90 degrees, and we'll do it that 4 times. So that's what I'm going to do on both of my machine. So I'm going to feed this through. Now this one feeds from the front. This one feeds from the back. And I'm going to run it through. And while that's running through, I'm going to prepare this one. And we're going to run that through. And it's not completely, so I'm going to run it 4 times. And this time I'm going to move it 90 degrees. Going to run that through. Same with this. I ran it through there, so now I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and run it through. Going to turn this 90 degrees. And this is my second pass. This is my second pass for the other one, the other sheet. $90 degrees. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and run that through. 90 degrees and run it through. Now I know with the Minc you only have to run it through once, and it works pretty good, it looks like, but you know, I don't think I mind running it 4 times through the machine if I get the same results. Because, like I said, $100 for a laminate machine. It does have a lot of different settings. Now, this one, Scotch, has 2 settings. It has a 3mm and a 5. And actually, I should put it on the 5mm. I forgot I didn't do that. So I'm going to put it on the 5. And this is going to be the last time I'm going to run this one through. And this is not fair because I should have put it on the 5mm. The 5mm, it's a little hotter, I believe. Let me run this one through. I lost count, so I'm just running it through. The good thing about the Scotch one is that it has a release. Let me move you over here. It has this release valve, so if it gets stuck, you can easily pull it out, just like the Minc. This one doesn't have that. So if it's stuck, I don't know how to take it out. Okay, so we're going to let these cool, and we'll see how they come out. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. This is the one side. Now this one, it's not fair because it was on 3. I'm going to run it through again, because this one was set at 3 millimeter instead of 5. You want to put it on the hottest setting, which is 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. You can really see that it's going to come out pretty nice, I think. And let's pull this off. That one came a little wrinkly there, and I think it's just because of the paper. But otherwise, I think it came out pretty nice. Even though it has that, that's because I think it was wrinkled. When you put it down, make sure it's not wrinkled. Otherwise, you may get what you get there. Let's go ahead and look. So this is on the Provo Craft bookbinding side. This is on the Scotch side. And it came out, I would say, about the same. Oops, sorry, let me bring you over here. It came out about the same. You do see a little spot there. I'm not sure why, but it's about the same. Doesn't look too bad. Now let's go ahead and look at the one in the pouch. And I think I'm may need to run it a little more, because you don't even see the image saying grateful. This one, you don't even see it like you saw it with the other one. The other one, you obviously saw that it had grateful. So let's run it through. And I think the trick is you probably need to use paper instead of the carrier sheet, because I think the carrier sheet doesn't let the heat go all the way through. Okay, so now while this is cooling down, I'm going to go ahead and try with one of Heidi Swapp's images. I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this. So this is using the Heidi Swapp card, and then I'm going to make sure it's nice and flat, because I think this is the issue that we got here is because it wasn't flat. You know, I'm talking about that it didn't go all the way through. It was not flat. Okay. And for this one, I'm going to use this one that says Brilliant. And it looks like a diamond, so of course we got to use silver. I'm going to make sure it's nice and flat. And I have it at the 5 millimeter instead of the 3 on that one. You're going to run it so it went once. Now let's look at this one. I think the issue is with the carrier sheet. If you compare this one to this one does has a little bit of areas that didn't get completely covered. This one has a lot more spotted areas that did not get covered. So I think I need to stick with, the verdict is, if you're going to use a laminating machine, don't buy her carrier sheets. It will not work. Let's do it 3. This is the 3rd time. So I'm going to do it 4 times. Same issue here. If you are going to use her product, do not use a carrier sheet. It does not work. You don't get the same results. Now, the next test I'm doing is the 5mm heat, and this one that I don't know how hot it is because it doesn't have 2 settings. It only has 1 setting for this one. It has 2 settings for this one. So we'll see which one is best. Okay, this is the 3rd pass on that one. And this will be the final pass on this one. I think I got it right. I'm not going to even bother using the carrier sheets with these because I know it's not going to work. I was playing with these using carrier sheets. This one was using a carrier sheet, and I used this machine. This one was using paper without a carrier sheet. Using this machine, this is part of her Heidi Swapp package. This one was using without the carrier sheet, but what happened is I kind of was stingy a little bit on the foil and did not really cover it, and I used 2 different foils here, 2 cut pieces. Don't do that. That doesn't work. And then this one was with the carrier sheet on the Scotch. So these were Scotch. These are Scotch. And this is my Provo Craft one. Okay. Let's see how this one came out on the Scotch. Not bad. Okay, you see that? Not bad at all. Let's see how this one came out. It still has, you can see a little bit of the black. You can still use it, but it's not the best impression. I think this has a lower temperature than the Scotch. The Scotch one, I can do the 5mm. Now the other one, remember this one was not a fair play because I had it on 3mm and I didn't realize that it was on the 5, so it was not hot enough. But let's go ahead and try, because I'm making a decision if I'm going to keep this one for the foil and keep this one for bookbinding, or if I'm going to return the Scotch and keep my bookbinding one. So far, this one, it does work, but doesn't give me the best results. I'm not 100% happy. I can live with it. If this one gives me the same results, I will return this one, and I can live with it, with the results with this one, and then decide if I'm going to buy the Minc Machine or not. But I'm going to do this test again using the 5mm. It's nice and hot, and I'm going to do it again with, let's see. Let's try the bike. Well, actually, this is better. This will give me a better indication if it really works, because it's a nice, dark, solid piece. So let's try this one on the Scotch with just paper, no carrier sheet. because it does, the foil sheet, I noticed that you do scrape some off. If you handle it too rough, it does come off. It does scrape off. So you got to be careful. So I'm going to let this, so now this is the one, the competition. What I'm talking about is, see how it scrapes off? It just comes off like that. So it's not fair if I use one that's kind of all scratched off for this test. So, okay, this is this one, this one's this one. Once. I'm going to go through again the second time. And I'm really hoping that this does the trick, because 20 bucks, I can live with spending 20 bucks for this machine than buying, I don't know if I can, I will want to buy the Heidi Swapp one for $112. And that's with coupons. If you buy it without the coupons, it's $149. It's a little too steep, I think. Now, if you guys watch HSN today, on May 11th, HSN is going to have a special, and I believe Anna Griffin is going to have her version of the Minc. It's smaller than the Heidi Swapp one, and the price has to be right, because if the price is more than $50 for a smaller version of the Minc, I'm not sure if I will buy that either. I don't know. We'll see. It is Mother's Day tomorrow, so I may give myself that as a present, but I'm not sure. Okay, this is the last one. And I'm really liking these foil, even though these other ones, I'm going to use them, even though they're not perfect. I am going to use them because they look nice. I mean, you put that in a little scrapbook or card, and it's going to come out nice. Okay. So far, it looks promising. Now, let's reveal what I got. Ah, perfect. Definitely. So the verdict is, if you want to have the same result as the Minc, but without the price, Scotch is your guy. And you have to make sure you put it on the 5mm, not on the 3. If you notice, when I had it on the 3, it doesn't work that well. But when I did it on the 5, look at the difference between the 3mm, there's 2 settings, and the 5. And it's, you know, I wanted to use an image that had a lot of toner so you can see it. Because sometimes the ones that don't have a lot of toner like this, you don't really see the imperfection if there is any. You really want to see it when it has a lot of toner. So look, that is perfect. The other thing that I've learned is that for carrier sheet, do not use the ones for the Minc. They don't work. It's just, I think the thickness is, it's too thick and the heat doesn't get through as well. The sheet of paper, just putting the paper in between just regular copy paper works fine. Works very nice for this project. So the verdict is out. I'm going to keep my machine for 20 bucks. I'm going to use the 5mm, and then I'm going to use regular copy paper as my carrier sheet. And I hope you liked this video and it was informative. And I thank you for watching. Bye now.